boys and girls, man and woman. Let's talk about industry. Now, industry within Ivecos is when you take a blueprint and you turn that into an item. I'm sorry, this is very unscripted, so I'm basically just sitting here talking right in the mic. The last video I did got some positive comments and you guys wanted me to go over industry, and I felt, that is a great idea. So we will talk about the issues and how it should work and how I think that industry should work in the future. And hopefully, if they change it, then they make it into something more fun than what it is today. Now, industry is the very act of pretty much building. We could also say that it is about reverse engineering, making blueprints. And when you're building something, you're using minerals and you're using ISK. And of course, in some cases, PI and different materials. Now, the issue we have with the industry is that unless you're a very high-end industry guy, you have a hard time making money. So if you're a Tech 10 and you're building for your alliance or your corporation, like capitals, maybe faction battleships, then sure, you can make some ISK. It's still not good, but you can make some ISK. But in rare occasions, there are people who are making quite good money through industry. That being said, industry for the normal guy or a new player is very bad. Some people start this game and they might just want to go in and build, cruisers, trying to sell that off. And you will notice that even with great skills or even max skills, you will have to lose money to sell it. And this is mainly because there's so many minerals in everyone's hangar right now. They take a loss when they sell just to get some money. And if you, for example, want to build an Armageddon, then you mine like 300 million value in minerals, and you go and you build that one. And you notice that when you have sold it, let's say that you get 300 million, you still have like 200 million in minerals left. And the reason here is because the ISK price for actually creating something is greater than the price of minerals that you need to build pretty much anything. And this is what NetEase would call an ISK sink, but what we really need is a mineral sink. But anyway, that is the issue that we have in industry today. And yeah, if you ask me, it's to 90% the insurance fault. Now, it is also NetEase's fault for giving out ships through the ticket system, but most of it comes from the insurance. And I will not go into insurance too much here. I will make a separate video about insurance and reasons why we should change it and how we should change it. But I will just say that insurance is another currency called IP, where you can pay to get your ship back plus your items without it being created. It's just going to appear from thin air, from NetEase, into your hangar. Also, what it does is that it doesn't remove any items on loss. The only items that you might feel that you lost is items that ended up in a crate in space. And most likely someone picked that up. And this is also why we have so many items in the game, because we have no items that actually disappears. And that we will talk about in this video. But anyway, this is the reason and this is the issue. We all know this, but I think that we should talk about how to fix it. Because as I say, it's easy to complain, but unless you have a solution for it, then you're just bringing more work for NetEase and they might not want to do it. So this is my solution for industry and the important parts that is around industry. Now, it is easy to say that industry should of course have more material and mineral use and less ISK to perform. And I think that would be a great start. Make us pay 10% in ISK and 90% in minerals and materials. That would solve a lot of problems. But then it doesn't really help everything. And and it doesn't really enhances the game. So yeah, let's look at some stuff and see what I would have done. Now I think we should have faction bonuses when we are manufacturing. For example, if you would have created a Galente ship or Galente modules, they should be 5 to 10% cheaper if you created them in the corresponding region. The same would be with faction ships and items. So Sancho Nightmare could be 10% cheaper if you do it in Sancho space, as well as the green faction gear should drop in those regions. I have no idea why this is not the case. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what we should have. This would also demand hauling in the game a lot more, maybe even to the location where you build it in pirate space, and from that place to Jita or Amar or wherever you want to sell it. Hauling would be a great addition to this. And this would make different manufacturers in different regions working on their own builds in all corners of EVE. I've talked about selling before, and this is not a market video. I could do one where we talk about market too, just let me know in the comments. But if we had less tax by selling Galente items in Galente space, that would also be kind of a similar way like this one. And you know, we would still have stuff in Jita, but that would be a bit more expensive. But Jita would probably have everything. But if you want to save money, you can go to Galente space and buy your blasters, and you can go to Sancho space and get your lasers there, for example. Now, sure, selling and buying in Sunshine or for example Garista space might not be what most people would do, but I mean in Galente, Amar, Minmatar and Kaldari, I mean we would have a flowing market with people trying to make money and doing it in different places and moving stuff around. I think this would bring all the industrialists back, and we would also get the haulers back. Another thing that I've been thinking about is when you manufacture items or ships, you should have a small chance, like 1 in 1,000, to create a modified version of that item or ship. That item could have different stats, but it's not even needed. But if it were, then some enhanced stats would be okay. As well for the ships. Perhaps you get lucky and you create a modified Nightmare with extra armor or even shield. Maybe even an extra high, mid or low slot. This would not only make every manufacturing a bit exciting, but also create some special ships that collectors might want. And this would be some kind of end game saving, like some people might only want to have the modified ships, and I would be one of those. I would, pay extra money just to get those ships. But I mean, that is just something that I feel would be very interesting to have, and that could actually help new players too. Like if you're a manufacturer and you're creating, for example, Punishers, the Amar frigate, and you happen to get a modified Punisher, and instead of selling that for $1 million, you can sell this one for maybe 30 million, making that day just amazing for that guy. But it shouldn't be too often. It should be very rare, so that when it happens, it really enhances that day for that guy. Now I don't know if you know what ship I'm. Now I don't know if you know what ship idea I'm referring to, but there is actually a modified destroyer in the game, and even a cruiser one. I think it was gifted at some occasion, I just can't remember, but they are a little bit greenish in the hue, but they are not better than the original one. I don't think so. I think it's actually a bit worse, but that is kind of the idea, that you have a chance of proccing something. That could be really nice, and we can have that, and we can have the same for the guns or the armor plates or everything that you create. You can have a chance of having a modified one. Maybe even the blueprints could be modified if you're lucky. So, you're making a blueprint and it's modified so that this one takes 10% less ISK, or maybe 50% less ISK, might be even better, just to make it, mean something. And just imagine like creating a faction carrier blueprint and you get it modified so that it's like the half price. You know, that would be an amazing event for pretty much anyone who come across this. But let's leave that. I think that would be great. You know, fixing the industry and adding this would really heighten the game value. Now we have the Dead Space items in the game, and this should be the top tier items, except for the officer gear that we never seem to get. Even though we have some officer gear in the game right now, some people got from the Frighter event. I'm not sure where they are. I actually don't know anyone who have them. But I am actually interested in, you know, maybe buying one just to have it. But yeah, I think that they would add officer spawns. And of course that would be a very tough NPC rat that rarely spawn in NoSec and have the ability to drop pieces of their gear. I even think that they should have a small chance to drop in low-sec, but not flying too big ships, right? They have to fly battleships or lower. And this gear of course would be named as the NPC, like Kaika's missile launcher. As I say, there are a few circling within the game today, and if you ask in help chat, then I'm pretty sure that someone will link it so that you can view it at least. Anyway, the Dead Space items are too easy to come by in this game. They have no direct value, the same with everything in this game. But as soon as you look at B-type, the prices are pretty decent. But the Dead Space are so low that the green faction items in this game are useless. And unless you're a very rich alpha. Because alphas can't use Dead Space, and then you have to go for the faction ones. And this is very rare. But as I say, the prices for B-types are decent. But also here, the gear needs to change. Even though the value of the B-type is fair, I think that NetEase should let us merge C-type items plus minerals for a value of, for example, 60 million to make a B-type. And they can keep the success high, like 60% as it is today. And this would make the value for a B-type of that kind about 100 million. The same for building an A-type, 10 times 100 million, since that A-type would be 100 million, plus about 600 million is 1.6 billion, and adding the failure rate at 1.6 billion, so 3.2 billion for an A-type. And then of course you have the X-type, which is the same deal. If you can tell me the price in the comment for a chance to win a ship. But those prices are not set. It was just a way for explaining how it should be done so that we get more A, B, and X types on the market. Because right now X type is, you know, impossible, I would say. It's not, but you know, it's extremely hard to get. Even A type is hard to get. Some people have B types, but the pricing and the success rate is just crazy. And it's not fun, because you know that you will lose money. But yeah, if they would have changed this in the game, then when it drops a C-type item, that would feel a lot more fun. We would have, as I said, more diverse items on the market and no more expensive ISK sinks for creating better items. We need minerals and item sinks. Because the reason for the fluctuating prices on items in the game is not because there's a war or this week people didn't farm as much. No, the prices, like the fluctuating prices, is because of people like me and a bunch of other guys in this game that is helping the game with buying an excess of crazy amount of items just to keep the prices, you know, somewhat high. I can guarantee that if it weren't for the investors in this game, then every item in the game would have been 100,000. I guarantee you. You might think that some items are scarce today. That's not the case. You might think that some items are overflowing, so oh my god, it's 300,000 for this, it's very, very cheap. No, it's not. Even that is expensive. If you think that 5 billion Nightmare is expensive, you're right. If you think that a 3 billion nightmare is a fair price, yeah, I guess you're right. But a nightmare is not worth 3 billion. A nightmare is worth around 1 billion. Because people have nightmares stocked up. Trust me, I know someone who has over 30 nightmares. And that's just nightmares. He's got Balgorns. He got all the ships. Just imagine if he would have put that on sale. You know, sometimes a faction battleship goes down to 2.2 billion and I feel like this is cheap, man. I still don't buy it because I know that, you know, someone could put like 30 more and crush the prices down to 1 billion. Easy. It's the same with some items that I have. Like for example, the armor repairers. We can take the large one, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just 10 on the market. The prices go up to like 25, 30 each. It's been there many times. Now I think I have around 1,000. What happens if I put 1,000 on the market? Well, I can tell you what's gonna happen. The other guys is gonna buy them because we can't have it on the market. The game only survives because of the investors today. So that's why you don't see the real issue that we have with items today. But I'm pretty sure that NetEase see it. They see all the items in circulation in this game. So we desperately need the insurance to be fixed. And as I say, I will talk about it in a different video. Just let me know if you want it. But we also want a fun game to play. We want an industry that is exciting. We want an industry that can be profitable for new players. And we need an industry that uses up all the minerals and the materials that we have. And I wouldn't say that we need to change the values of the stuff that we build today. I think the values are pretty good. It's just that it's ISK and we need to put that to minerals. So a slight change for that and implement the ideas that I have with modified items so that it's more fun to create something, and also helping out with, you know, using up all the items that we have by merging them. Like for example, the C types. Doing this, the game would see a big change. And that change would make industry good again. And as we all know, industry is a big part of this game. Even though it doesn't feel like it. But if we don't have anyone building our ships, then we have to rely on the insurance and NetEase to give us them from the thin air. And then we don't even have a market. So this is what I would do with industry. This is the first things that I would try to implement in this game. And just imagine how many new players and old players coming back to this game if we had this feature. These changes would start repairing the game from day one. But yeah, anyway, that was it. That was industry for me. And I hope you guys had a great time. And I hope I didn't talk too much. But also, you guys said that you liked when I read some of my comments. So I thought I will read some today as well. We start with the Digital Pirate 88. NetEase sucks. I will not be downloading anything from them again. We also have Deadly Gamer 8654. I respect your loyalty to EVE Echoes and I like your insight on it. If you have time, I would love to see content of EVE Online. I think a fresh perspective of EVE Online would be nice. I do enjoy watching Benzi's EVE Online videos because it is fresh, because veteran EVE Online content creators have an advanced perspective and isn't tailored to new players. Now I did answer him, I will keep it in mind, and if more people want it, then you know, maybe I do it. We got Vladimir Markovic. He says, I hope that CSM will force NetEase to make some changes, but on the other hand, I highly doubt it because for them this game is just money. And it always was just profit. But I agree 100%. But I agree 100% with you regarding the play. I will play how much I can. I will diversify what I play and how I play. And in the end, never retreat, never surrender, Sheev. I think I answered rock on. Yeah, of course, rock on, man. We got Yup SSBiazin17. He said, did a solo in Rattlesnake happen? And this is from my video on Dormant Realm when I had some updates and tips and we did Dormant. I think I said in that video that, you know, I will try to do Dormant 7 solo in my Rattlesnake. And my answer is never happened. Since the day after, I heard that someone soloed it with a Dominix too. So then I felt solo in a Rattlesnake was nothing cool anymore. So that's pretty much the reason I felt, why should I do it when other people already done it? And the last one for today is Shane Dunn 4110. 100% spot on. Everyone that listens to your videos knows that you're a great guy and just care about us all. So going forward, I need you to know that we know what you mean. My brother talks about it all the time. Do not let this get you down. You have more people in the corner than you think. Thank you for being honest with us, Sheev. And I said thank you, my man. But you guys take care, and I see you guys again.